open to any trades. Those are conversations that generally start to have a little bit. The higher you up in the draft, the sooner the conversations begin. I have not had any trade conversations with anybody as of yet. Those usually tend to start in the combine, in the hallways that we kind of roll through, and we'll see how that goes.
Bob Quinn, Lions general manager, making it clear that there is an opportunity to trade down from the 3rd overall pick in the draft. And look, there's always an opportunity to trade down, to trade up. It's a commodity like anything else. And if you get an offer you can't refuse, you would be unwise to refuse it. But Peter, with the Detroit Lions, and we touched on the Tua Tagovailoa possibility and the possibility Matthew Stafford may want to change the scenery. The problem is that I firmly believe Matt Patricia, the head coach, and Bob Quinn, the GM, are on notice that things had better improve significantly this year. So you need to emerge from the draft, I think, with guys who can play right away. We don't know that Tua can play right away. I think that whether you stay at number 3 or trade down and get more lottery tickets and maybe get more guys who can play right away, which if that's what you can do, if you can dangle that for a quarterback that somebody feels compelled to come up and get, and you get those multiple players that can contribute right out of the gates, that may help these guys stick around beyond 2020 in Detroit.
I think the biggest issue where Detroit is picking, Mike, and let's just say that the quarterback thing's a non-starter and they have no interest in the quarterback and they're going to keep Stafford. So let's just say that that's the case because that's likely. All right, so now you start looking at a guy like Bob Quinn cannot make that decision, on February 24. He can make the decision maybe, on April 4. But he can't make it right now because he needs to know on his draft board. And let's just say for the sake of argument, he's, everybody's going to have Joe Burrow. He's not taking him anyway. But then he's going to have Chase Young far and away as number 1 guy. All right. He can't get Chase Young. So now it gets to number 3 in the draft. And on his board, he's got 5 guys who are very close. And he says, okay, look, we really like Okudah. We love Simmons, this versatile linebacker safety from Clemens. We really like Mekhi Becton, the monster tackle from Louisville, quicker than a guy who's 370 pounds should be. So let's just say he gets to that point. And then let's just say that, the Carolina Panthers are dying to get up to number 3. Well, then you say, okay, Carolina, you can have our pick. We'll move down to number 7, and you give us your next 2 twos. And we'll do that. And so I'm only making this point to say that until you set your draft board, you can't know what the value to your organization is for the 3rd pick in the draft.
Yeah, that's right, because if there's a chance you can slide down a few spots and still get the guy you would have taken if you had to use the pick at number 3 overall, then it's a hell of a deal. You're paying him less, you still get him, and you get some other stuff in return. That's why it's always important to keep the cards as close to the vest as possible, because if you do trade down, you want to be able to say with a straight face, we got the guy we would have taken if we had stayed where we were. So it's already a win. No matter what those extra picks turn into, we're getting him at a lower spot, and we're going to pay less, and we're going to have a little more cap space available for other positions. But look, we're going to hear plenty about this, and we never know when the trades are going to happen. Ideally, a trade happens when the pick's on the clock, but we saw a couple of years ago, the Jets pulled the trigger and moved up from 6 to number 3 to get themselves in position for one of the top quarterbacks. They just didn't know who it was going to be, but they were fine with that. And we may see movement like that because when there's a team that's ready to trade down, and if multiple teams are ready to trade up, if you want to trade up, you better pull the trigger, even if you'd rather wait until your pick's on the clock.
Mike, and there's one other factor to consider in this, okay? This is a big quarterback draft. There's probably going to be 3 guys taken in the top 8 or 10. Okay, so that automatically basically increases the value of your pick, because when teams figure, I got to have that quarterback. What if Matt Rule, the Carolina Panthers coach, wakes up on April 1st and said, guys, we got to go get Justin Herbert. He's our guy. It doesn't matter where we have to go to get him. We got to go get him. We don't know what the next 6 weeks hold in all this draft mayhem and all this pre-stuff. That makes it even better for the Detroit Lions to have 3 quarterbacks in the top 10 who are probably going to get picked right around there. And if that happens, all of a sudden, they got premium value at number 3.
Yeah, and you just play it slowly, and you wait and you wait and you wait, and you'll know when that right offer rolls around. The time is right for us to take a quick break.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.